Hearing none, we will continue on with item 11 of the agenda, which is the presentation of petitions and requests. Item 12 is really, I think, where we should consider hearing the consent agenda item H. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, North Carolina general statutes allow and require that the Hickory City Council conduct meetings and give an opportunity at the end of the meetings for anyone that wishes to address and to address it. The Hickory City Council establishes some policies and guidelines regarding that, a couple of which, one is we request that comments be left to 3 minutes. We're not a stickler on that exact time frame. We'll certainly want to hear what you have to say, but that's just in respect for everyone in attendance. That we ask that you, when you address us, that you state your name clearly so the clerk can hear it, and your address as well is asked of you. So, and finally, I'll add that this portion of our agenda is not a hearing like we had earlier, where there might be discussion among council or really from council into a presenter. This is more a forum for persons that wish to address the Hickory City Council. So having said all that, before we hear item H, which deals with the decommissioning of the George Ivy and Ridgeview pools, I'll ask, is there anyone here that is present that would like to address the council on another matter? Very well. Mr. Berry, I'm going to ask you to review the council item H, and then we will hear the persons wishing to speak.
Item H is a staff recommendation that City Council consider, stated Mr. Lail, decommissioning and permanently securing the George Ivy and Ridgeview swimming pools. We've had conversations. I'm not going to go back through the whole process. I think all of us are familiar with the process that we've been through over the last 6 months, and we published the recs and the recommendation of the Parks and Rec Commission, which was presented to you last month. But from a staff standpoint, we have been concerned about the potential liability of the two pools standing over without any plans in the foreseeable future to bring them back into operation. In front of you is a letter that I requested today after conversations over the last week from Trident, who is the city's general liability insurance carrier. Summarize the letter. They say this letter is to express concern over the present condition of swimming pool facilities located at the Ridgeview Recreation Center in West Hickory. As we previously discussed, these unsupervised open swimming pools are a concern for potential general liability claims. Although the immediate area is fenced off, there is potential for unauthorized entry to this unsupervised area and subsequent injury or death. This current condition undoubtedly presents an attractive nuisance that should be corrected in a timely manner. Just by way of a little bit of background, I don't think that this is a theoretical issue. You might recall April 27th of 2005, we had a terrible tragedy. A 5-year-old was able to get through the fence at the Willow Tree Apartments on 5th Street Northeast, and subsequently drowned in rainwater and collected in the deep end of that swimming pool. And that was fenced, but over time, we don't know exactly how, but over time there were holes and gaps in fence that kids were able to get in and out of there. That is a concern, but I also have a concern, and really this is a bit of personal history, but I learned to skateboard in people's swimming pools. And that's a concern as well, that kids hop over the fence or climb through the fence and avail themselves of skateboard opportunities, although we do have a skateboard park, but sometimes it's a little more edgy to get out there and do something that you're not supposed to do, and that also is a great concern of ours. So with that, staff has recommended that City Council decommission and authorize staff to move forward with permanently abating the situation there. We feel like it's important that we do it sooner rather than later, because we also don't want either one of the properties to become subject to our own nuisance ordinance, as they will deteriorate over time.
Thank you, Mr. Beard. Once again, I'll remind everyone, this is not a hearing. We've heard this. We don't typically pull items towards the end of the agenda. We're happy to do that because it's very important, I think, that we hear things within the context of as they're being discussed by council, that we hear from citizens. But this is not a hearing. Having said that, I'll go down the list of persons that have signed up to speak and then ask if there's others present. Karen Hoyle.
Members of council, Attorney John from the City Manager, Lail Berry. I stand here tonight because our group met last night and saw the agenda for tonight. It disturbed us as well as the community when we raced to the telephones to tell our community that our city staff had made a decision to add to the agenda the decommission of our pools. Our pools have sat for 2 years, having been a public nuisance. They sit behind a fence, padlocked. 1 month ago, Rec Commission came before council and gave a recommendation as to our aquatics in Hickory. Less than a month later, now our pools can be a public nuisance, a liability, and a safety issue. When did we decide that? A month after the commission came before council and gave a recommendation. No decision has been made as to what the aquatics will be in Hickory. But 1 month later, there's a decision about our pools in our community, which means so much to the people in the community. Did anyone come to us and say, we decided we want to fill in your pools, decommission them? No. It showed up on the agenda. It has taken several years for there to be any sort of resolution to the issues of aquatics in Hickory and the pools in southwest and southeast Hickory. It took city staff less than a month to decide a historic and once thriving community no longer needed its pools and that they are now a public nuisance. It took years of no maintenance to get them to where they are today. And again, now they're a public nuisance, a safety, and a liability issue to the city. Our schools are gone. Our grocery stores are gone. What next? No drug stores. What's next? Now you ask for our pools. Public nuisance? Wow. In thinking about what's next for our All-American City, what will be next for our All-American City in these small southwest and southeast neighborhoods? Our recreation center, Brown Penn, Westmont. What's next? Where do we go from here? We look at our vision in Hickory by Choice 2030. Where does that leave southwest and southeast Hickory? We've studied it, we looked at it. How does the city continue to grow? We studied it, we looked at it. We're the little people. Southwest and southeast Hickory are the little people and the minorities in this all-American city. You continue to build up northwest and northeast Hickory and continue to tear down south East and Southwest Hickory. Remember, as you continue to destroy one community, you're still building on another. Is this a one-sided city? Just remember, the city of Hickory was built on one city, one people, one vision. Don't divide us now. Remember, Southeast Hickory and Southwest Hickory are a part of this all-American city. Don't divide us.